Hi, I'm TJ, and welcome to the Products Workshop. You may have seen some of the other videos we've done with Nathaniel riding around on the blade board. Well, I'm Nathaniel's father, and together we invented the cam casters used on the street heat blade board transport. Speaking of street heat, those nice folks wanted me to tell you that I don't work for them. I guess being intelligent people, they didn't want you to hold them responsible for anything I had to say, which I can understand because, heck, I really don't like being held responsible for the things I say. But anyway, this is my video, not theirs, and I just wanted to explain to you the differences between a blade board and some of the other caster boards. Through our website and on YouTube, we've received many questions. What is the difference between a blade board and other caster boards? Well, I decided to answer that on the video. As a matter of fact, while we're talking about websites, our website is www.bladeboard.net. Now notice that's .net and not .com. One way to remember this is I am not com usually when I'm making a video, and probably they should throw a net over me. So that'll help you remember. Net yes, com no. Okay, so moving on. The question is, what is the difference between a blade board and other conventional caster boards, if any? Well, to answer that, I think we first need to discuss how a conventional blade board works. The reason a conventional caster board works is because the caster is mounted to the board at an angle. As you move the caster around, the distance between the wheel and the board increases. If you swing the board while standing on top of it, the motion of this caster will tend to raise the board up. However, if you're on Earth or any other similar mass within the universe, what will happen is gravity comes into play and tends to hold the board down. So what you have is two opposing forces creating a resultant force which propels the board forward. This is kind of like squeezing a watermelon seed. Your thumb is pressing the watermelon seed down, your fingers are pressing the watermelon seed up, and the resultant force is the watermelon seed saying, "I'm out of here." Now that's a simple explanation, but it's probably sufficient for our discussion. While we're talking about conventional caster boards, let me say that I've seen a lot of stuff on the web and also on YouTube asking what the difference is between a wave and a ripstick. Well, let's have to explain that to you now. The major difference is the angle at which the caster is mounted to the board. As you can see here, as you measure the distance between the wheel and the board, turning it at the neutral position and turning to 180 degrees, the wave board starts out at about 3 inches from the board. When you turn it to its apex, or the highest point, at 180 degrees, it comes to a distance of about 4.5 inches. On the other hand, the ripstick starts out at about the same 3 inches, but as you turn it to its apex, it increases to almost 5 inches. This means that the angle the caster is attached to the board is a different angle and have different characteristics. These characteristics will produce different results. The wave board will be easier to swing and therefore more maneuverable. However, the ripstick has a more aggressive angle, and that aggressive angle will make it a little harder to swing, but it will result in a greater speed. Also, as you can see here, as the wheel is turned around 180 degrees on either one of these boards, it is its highest point. That is why neither one of these boards can go backwards, because at its highest point, with the wheel wanting to return to the neutral position, it is at its most unstable point. Now, it is true you can go backwards for a moment. Any prolonged distance will result in a wipeout, and you certainly cannot propel yourself backwards as you can on the blade board. Also, while we're talking about the two different kinds of caster board popular in the United States, let me say that I've seen supporters of these different caster boards hurling verbal bombs at each other on YouTube and on the web as if they were different members of radical, fanatical sects. You know, peace, dudes. Can't we just get along? That's why the blade board was invented, so we could all just get along. It's a world peace thing to me. Or maybe it's just that I want you to buy blade boards because I get a little bit of money for each one sold, and I want some evil green stuff. No, it's probably the world peace thing. I think I'm freaking out. Can we edit that? Forget it. Just leave it in. The reason the blade board can be faster and more maneuverable is because of these casters right here. We can change the angle within the rotation. We can have a slight or modest angle around the neutral point to allow an easy swing into motion. yet make a more aggressive angle here outside on the cam so that you can dig in for greater speeds. Also, since at 180 degrees it is once again in a valley, that means that you can go backwards as easy as learning to ride goofy, or standard if you usually ride goofy. This makes reverts and other popular tricks a much easier transition from the skateboard to the caster board. A true revert is just not possible with a conventional caster board. The blade board also slices, dices, and makes your bed. Well, maybe that's not true, but it is true that blade board is a significantly different design, and it is a next gen of caster board. Since it is a different design, if you normally ride a Wave or a Ripstik, you will notice a difference. But if you can ride a Wave or a Ripstik, you will easily be able to ride the blade board with little trouble at all. You will just notice a different rhythm. You will get into this rhythm and learn to appreciate it over time and not want to go back. This is because the blade board rhythm will allow you to get greater speeds, better maneuverabilities, better spins and carving. It may seem like a step backwards at first, but in just a little bit of time, when you get used to the rhythm, it'll be a giant leap forward in the amount of tricks you can do and the speeds that you can attain on a caster board. I hope I've been able to show you the difference between the blade board and other conventional boards, and convince you that this blade board design is indeed the next gen of caster boards. If you get on board right now, you'll be in time to join the blade board video contest on YouTube. We're giving away thousands of dollars in cash and prizes, and there's enough categories so that everyone of every different skill level can enter and have a chance to win. The details can be found at www.bladeboard.net. We will be producing a video announcing this contest, so stay tuned for that. Well, that's about it from the Products Workshop. Until our next video, ride hot and stay cool.